What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another episode, another week of the What the Puck podcast. We are back. Nick down here. That's Gunk up there. Gunk, like I said, we're
Hello.
back. We are
We missed you,
back.
boys. How's it
And
going?
we are good. It's
We are
back for
good. Back
another
to back.
year.
We
The
got a
cup has been
back-to-back
out.
champion.
We do. And
Well deserved too. Oh my
I
God. Well
agree
deserved.
because
Well deserved.
Edmonton looked horrible.
They really after the first game, and even that first game, they were not playing up to their potential. I think last year might have that game 7 last year might have I don't know. I hate to say it because I love McDavid so much, but he might have to just bounce. And we've heard of rumors now, all the rumors and stuff going around. But
We will get to that.
okay,
But
you got it, boss.
Cup final took 6 games instead of 7 this year. Much different series than what we saw in the first matchup last year. Florida's just built good. Florida is
Yeah.
just built absolutely good.
Yep.
Marchand may go down as one of the best rentals of all time, unless he
Oh,
stays.
right. Exactly.
Um, do you think he should have won the Conn Smythe? Because I think he should have
Oh
for
yeah.
what he
Absolutely.
did throughout all of the playoffs and even the Cup final. I mean, it was Sam Bennett that won, right?
Right. Sam
I'm
Bennett
getting
won
that
it.
right. So
Yes, he did.
I mean Bennett's really good, but like I feel like Marchand deserved it more. But I mean I feel like he'll take the cup over Conn Smythe. But
Right. Absolutely. And
yeah,
again,
this
I feel
team.
like it. I feel like this was more of a new kind of a new vote for the voters. I think if you go across the whole playoffs and if you followed Florida the whole playoffs, Marchand was the one of the biggest reasons that this team was able to repeat. I feel like. I mean, like I said, you had these guys from last year; they were ready to go, and then you add a guy like that who has experience and who has won a cup and is just nasty. I mean, he fit so perfectly into that team. It was like a glove on a hand. It was so perfect the way he fit into that team. His attitude, the way he plays, was just perfect for them. Like you said, Florida has everything going their way right now, and we got to see how free agency comes because again, in this league, you never know. One year you're this, and then everyone leaves on you. It's not really like you can't build dynasties like you used to.
Yeah, because even if you're looking at their UFAs, I want to say it's either Ekblad or it's one of them is a UFA this year and probably wouldn't be able to re-sign anyway.
Right.
But even then, I feel like with the pieces that you already have, you're not really in a bad spot.
No, absolutely not. And like I said, with their core, they're going to be good again. They're still going to be contenders for the next at least 4 or 5 years. They're really good. Bobrovsky's still playing, ridiculous. And can we get can before we even like get into anything else, can we
Oh
just say
yes,
it on the pot?
Vitek
Go ahead.
Vanacek is a Stanley Cup champion.
That that's the if you want to put it if we're putting
Oh,
on if we're,
Hall of Fame
if we're putting
backup Vitek Vanacek.
that's the screenshot. And don't
Yay!
forget, and as we talk about Marchand, he one of the best trolls on Instagram ever. Wow, did he troll every team that sent players to the Florida Panthers?
Thank
And
you,
of
everybody.
course that was fans. We had a nice set of 4 of them sitting right there next to him. And these were people that we all have crapped on regardless over the last at least 4 or 5 years. These players have been raised and or dropped. They hated them. Either they loved them or they hated them. We got rid of all of them in trades or we just cut them regardless. And they all end up at Florida. They all end up Cup champions. Jesper Boquist, the Tomic Nosek experiment from last year. And then of course the biggest kick in the sack you can get, Mr. Vitek Vanacek, our hero from 2 years ago, our savior was going to be our savior, and went to total shit the next year. Got rid of him, brought in Markstrom, which again, of course, I'm very happy about. but then he ends up a Stanley Cup champion.
Hey,
You can't write it any better, my friend. You can't write it any better.
Nico Mikkola is back-to-back Stanley Cup champion, so I understand.
Ugh.
But yeah, former Devils Vitek Vanacek, AJ Greer, we forgot to mention.
Well, the AJ Greer, I kind of like. I go back to more of the before like the really like good team, like from two. Like I said, I'm basically going from like the 3 year ago team.
Mm-hmm.
When we first started the podcast, that team really like. I remember we can go back to probably podcast one, and I probably talked about all three of those players
Oh, for sure.
in definitely in some kind of positive and or negative way. And like I said, they all end up on the Florida Panthers and all end up Stanley Cup champions. I mean, like I said, I don't do anybody dirty, but God bless them. Good for them. Fucking hey, man.
Yeah, good for them. But yeah, the the Rangers since like 2012 or something like that have had a former player win the cup every year except for like 2018.
Okay.
But yeah, let's talk more about Edmonton real quick because you had mentioned McDavid. Do you think he would stay if next year isn't any different?
Like I said, he's so committed to it. He's one of those great captains that are just he doesn't feel like he probably wants to leave, but again, he's getting into his big time prime right now. Does he want to keep playing for, I mean, it's a really good team in Edmonton, but does he want to be in that market anymore? It's a lot of personal stuff I feel like is going to come up with him. Again, with any big superstar that gets traded in any sport, sports right now is a big marketing thing, and, is it going to, would his value go up in a bigger town like a Chicago or, in New York with the Rangers or, somewhere, that's really high profile, a Boston, somewhere like that, it's going to be hard for Edmonton to compete against it. And like I said, I feel like if they won this year, they would have totally like been locked in. He would have been there, probably there forever. But for right now, like I said, the way they lost that Cup series, if they don't retune, and like I said, they already just traded Evander Kane away for basically peanuts. They're dropping salary. They're trying to build up salary to try to retool for next year. But like I said, he's going to ask a lot of money, and you're going to have to clear a lot of positions to get that. And that means a lot of good players that, on $3 million, $4 million contracts are going to have to go because you have to pay them. So
Yeah,
again, I feel like it can be one more run and see where it goes from there.
I agree with you. I think after this whole season, you see what happens. Really let him get to free agency.
Right.
But I just don't think it's possible for some teams unless you really have that kind of cap space to make a move like that work.
Right.
I certainly don't think somebody like the Rangers could unless they. I mean, the only thing is you're getting rid of Panarin after next year or after the end of this year, coming up.
Right.
Coming up.
Right.
So that's $11 million off, but you still have to worry about signing other guys. And
right. Exactly.
You still have three big contracts in when you'd want to be signing McDavid. You have Mika making 8.5, and you have JT Miller making 8, and Loff making just under 7.5. And that doesn't even mention Fox's contract and Igor's tank of 11.5 now because that kicks in.
Right. Because yeah, exactly.
So you'd have to move so many different guys just to try to build around Connor McDavid for what, 5 years?
Right, and now we're coming into, because I just read on the hockey Twitter today was the CBA is going to be coming out now. There's a new CBA going to be probably signed either Friday, but apparently there's a new handshake deal, and
we get more games.
We get more games, yes.
We get two more games.
But the thing with that is that this year, the way I read it was that this year will probably be the last year of the $8 million max contracts.
Mm.
It will go down to 7 with this new deal, and he'll be in that market when they first come up with the 7 million, 7-year max contracts, and
sure.
6 years for the for their current teams, max contracts. Or if you leave a free agency,
Yeah.
you only can get a 6 year deal, but you can only get a 7 year deal with your current team. I'm sorry, flip that,
Uh,
reverse it.
so yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that free agency because the cap is going to be going up too.
Yes,
Like we had mentioned a couple episodes ago. So you can make it a bit easier, but I just don't think a team like the Rangers, unless you get rid of everything to make it work,
right.
is going to be possible because then what else do you have besides the little bit that you have now? And we can get to that because I want to talk about our team's off seasons.
Oh, absolutely. Yes,
Um,
sir.
Draft is tomorrow. Rangers
Yep,
have no
absolutely. Yep.
first round picks because they gave their 12th overall up to Pittsburgh, which
Yep.
I don't
I was gonna ask
necessarily agree with.
how do you feel about that?
I think they should have kept it to try to move up,
Okay.
but I'm not sure where exactly you were going to try to move up to.
See, the only thing with that is I think they were. You think they're worried about not being that good of a team this year just because because again they if they didn't give up this pick, it would have been next year's pick again, and which wouldn't have been
True, and next
protected.
year is
So
better. So
yeah, and then, yeah, next year's gonna be a better draft.
I think it's good that you kept next year, but I feel like you could have done something for this with this year's pick to even like get a player.
Right.
You could have gotten like a decent guy with the 12th overall pick.
Yeah.
Um, but this team isn't bad.
Right.
Like
No, exactly. And
on paper,
that's
this
what I'm
team
worried
isn't
about. Like,
bad.
and I come back like I'm looking from the inside out perspective of Rangers fans. Like if I saw that they wanted to give him this pick for this year, I would be worried that, hey, is this sending a message that we don't think we're going to be this good this year? We're going to be better than 12 next year. It's kind of like for me, I would catch that as a little like, ooh, is upper management thinking, something's up, and maybe this is a continuous thing, maybe not it wasn't just one off year, maybe it was, maybe this is going to continue. I mean, again, I'm just hype,
You
speculating, of
have to
course,
see
but
how the team does with the coach.
right,
Um, honestly, I don't think there's that many expectations for the Rangers this year. Um, I really don't think there are. After last year, we don't really know what's happening. They're moving. They're moving people. They're trying to clear cap space because apparently they want to offer sheet people. I'm cool with that. The big name that the Rangers have been around is Gavrikov out in L.A.
yeah,
He's looking at fetching probably $7 million on a deal. So that's a lot of money there. If you sign
yeah,
Gavrikov, you
absolutely.
almost kind of take yourself out of McDavid, which is
Oh,
fine.
absolutely.
Um, you have to re-sign Will Cooley. That's pretty much the big thing. He's the big RFA. You signed Rempe, but you couldn't get this done.
Yeah, so
So
yeah, I saw
whatever.
that.
Um, maybe you get something done tomorrow during the draft. You get a trade through because
Right.
the next up on the chopping block is the walking pylon.
Yeah, exactly. Which again, a lot of trades. He was. I remember you posted on your Instagram. You were hoping to get rid of him for Zegras, a
Oh,
few
that would
days
have been
ago. Before we,
funny.
I
But
know it would. It would.
before we move on to that Anaheim trade, I was
Mm-hmm.
gonna upload a video on it, but the video that I did, I did not like, so I never uploaded it. The Kreider
Okay.
trade, it happened.
Oh yeah.
Um, he goes to Anaheim, and we give them a fourth for this year, and we get some kid named Kerry Terrence at a third. Uh, it happened. Um,
Too little. I
should
feel
have
like it's
happened during the season.
too little, too late. Exactly. That was my
Yeah.
thought. Too
Um,
little, too late. And I feel bad for him because he could have got like maybe like the heroes, send off, during the season kind of thing, and it was very anticlimactic, I would say, for a player that he's been around forever for your team, and very anticlimactic. It was during the playoffs that it happened. It was very. I felt like it was very just like muck. You know what I mean?
I'm I'm happy that this wasn't played up by any kind of media. You heard about it once a trade was in place.
Right.
all that you were waiting on was Kreider to say, "Yeah, I'll waive." He did that, and then it was done. It wasn't
Right.
like the Truba bullshit or the Barclay Goodrow stuff or anything like that. Drury went
Right.
out, got a deal in place, did everything, kept it in tight, and didn't retain salary on the deal. And I feel like that's the one thing that Rangers fans were looking for. Just
Right.
don't keep any of that $6 million.
Yeah, just dump it. Get rid of the whole thing. Build it up for yourselves. Going in again, going into free agency.
But
I said
yeah, it's
because they have
unfortunate. But Anaheim is the new Rangers retirement home. They have four now. They have Kreider and Trouba, Frank Vetrano with the new CBA. His contract's going to be a little bit weird because they deferred money to him, and Bettman said no more deferred payments.
no more deferred payments. Oh, and the other thing in the CBA that they're trying to change is the LTIR.
Good.
Going into the playoffs, which
Yeah.
I really nice. Basically they what they call it, the Vegas rule. You put your player on. You put your player on long-term injury reserve. You wait for him to settle, rest him, playoff time. He can come out, and it doesn't cost your team anything. You go out and make as many trades as you want. As long as you're under the cap at the end of the year, at the end of the regular season, you can have whoever you want to play if he's in your roster. So, again, I mean, it only worked really once for Vegas. I mean, really, but they won the cup. They've made it to a couple finals, but I mean, it's not a long-term success. I feel like for a franchise, but we'll see how it goes. It's gonna balance it out a lot more. So maybe some of these teams that can't trade as much as you can actually get into the deals. More into, especially when we get into the trade deadline. At the end of March and stuff.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah. It sure is. It sure is going to be interesting to see where the CBA comes through, because I feel like a lot of the stuff that they're suggesting is going to be decent for the league, but we got to worry about this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to
Absolutely.
keep rolling with Anaheim. You mentioned the Zegers trade.
Yeah.
Zegers goes off to Philly. Anaheim gets Ryan Paling and 2 picks, a second this year and a fourth next year. I want to say even trade, but Philly, I think, wins this more. Relatively decent steal from Anaheim. Ryan Paling isn't the best, and you can
Right.
part ways with the 2 picks if you're trying to be a playoff team.
Right. Exactly.
This gets Philly closer to being a playoff team, I think.
I feel like it does too. One of the funniest things I saw was somebody saying Zegers coming to Philadelphia was the perfect time to end the Tortorella era,
Yeah.
because he is not his kind of player.
No.
So you can see where Philly's going. They're kind of trying to build a young core, trying to build a fast core. I mean, I can't wait to see Zegers and Mitchkov actually playing a line together. That's going to be really fun to watch. He's going to be on the East Coast. He has a lot of friends on the East Coast, especially Jack Hughes on ours. He's like his best friend and stuff. So he's got somebody really close to him. So it's going to be a rivalry. But like I said, for Philly, I feel like again, they're in that weird spot of they just don't know where they're going right now. Do they save up spots, make picks, lose out a couple more years, or do they
go get a real starter?
Yes.
They go get a real starter with their $15 million of cap space.
Yeah.
Because right now their goalies are Fedotov and Erson, and yeah, no, Erson's young. He's 25, so you give him a bit more of a break, but you need a goalie that can stop a beach ball.
Right. And really, the only really big free agent right now is Jake Allen, who did really well in a backup role this year for the Devils, and was hoping to come back. But we'll see when he hits the open market. Maybe he can. He's looking for about 4 to 5 per year. Maybe he's looking more for years than actual money, I think it is. But I think you're gonna, if for anybody on free agent market that wants to pick him up, it's probably going to cost you between $4 and $5 million for a few years now. So a little older
Well,
goalie. I mean, if you're looking for a plug and play goalie, might be perfect for you. But he's more, like I said, at this point of his career, probably more like a 1B. Like I said, he works out with really well with a great tandem.
but I feel like Jake Allen would be perfect.
It could be, yeah,
Because
absolutely.
the Flyers are relatively built for a couple years in the future. I feel like Jake Allen would be good to teach the younger guys
Yep, yep.
how to play because Philly doesn't really have that crazy of expectations heading into the season. They're just
Right,
trying
exactly.
to get back to maybe the last wild card.
Right. No,
Um,
absolutely.
so you have ways of playing around, and even then, say you did want to sign Jake Allen to 2 years. I feel like that's reasonable.
I feel yes, absolutely. No, again, I feel like that's probably it's probably the perfect scenario. But again, everyone's looking for goaltending. We've talked about that how many times on this podcast. There's just not enough to go around. With all the teams we have, there's just not enough of them to go around. And when you're the number one on your market, you're gonna get paid. So, like I said, we're gonna see what comes out of that. Let's see how see if he resigns because again, he's shown interest. I've read plenty quotes from him that he loved New Jersey, he loved the area, he loved being working with Markstrom. They were really great this year. And like I said, it's gonna be more of a does he want to leave that situation or does he want to be the man for a couple years?
I I feel like if I'm him, I'd want to go be the man somewhere for a couple of years. You're 34 at this point. You
Right.
don't have that much time left, and like the Devils have, uh, the Devils have backups. They got Nico
Yeah.
Dawes.
Oh yeah, that's well. Again, you never. Nico Dawes played a lot better than he did the year before, so maybe Markstrom's rubbing off on
And
him a little bit. So
for sure,
I'm
because
okay with that for right now.
Markstrom is a really good teacher at even at
Yeah,
35. I mean, he's been around the league for a while, and Nico Dawes is only 24. I mean, he's only making $812,000 and is an RFA next year with arbitration. So even if you can't figure out a contract right away with him, you can have somebody else do it,
no,
and
absolutely.
they'll figure it out from there. But I mean, Markstrom and Dawes really isn't that bad of a tandem if you
No,
look at it. If Nico Dawes can play the way he's shown that he can, because Nico
no,
Dawes has been a
absolutely.
solid enough goalie for the Devils when called upon. It's
Oh,
just a
absolutely.
matter
I
of the
agree.
team being injured to absolute hell and back while they need
Yeah,
him.
exactly. And those are the times they played him, and that was the times he played probably his worst is when he didn't have the full amount of players on in front of him. You
Exactly,
like to like the Detroit game, right? Thank you.
but
Welcome to summer, by the way.
welcome to summer.
Welcome to summer. Summer. This is our summer spectacular. I'm going to put it as so.
uh, Looking at the Devils off season, they have guys that they need to sign. Uh, up at the front, your UFAs are Justin Dowling, Curtis Lazar, Daniel Sprong, Nate Bastion.
I have the list right here. So
I
we so Tatar is already he's already gone. Oh, he's already in wherever country he went to. No,
yeah,
he's playing overseas
he
now.
went he went over to Europe, but
Yeah.
I think you try to re-sign Daniel Sprong, and you got to try to keep Nate Bastion.
Uh, See,
Well,
I feel like I don't like
Bastion's a glue
Bastion.
guy.
He is a glue guy, but I I feel like, and again, I hate to say it, but I feel like he was more of a glue guy when we had his buddy with us.
Okay,
When those two were together, I kind of, I liked the dynamic because they were friends and all that. I feel like since the incident happened, it's like Nate Bastion has not been like up to the same snuff as he was before. And and again, I hate to say this because I really do like him, and he of course the classic fucking the classic Paisan sign at MetLife, awesome moment. But like I said, for right now, there's people you can get to for that role that's probably way better. And right now, like I said, if he signed somewhere, I'd be okay with him, leaving right now. It's okay. I'm sure
fair
we can find
enough.
somebody. I feel like he had his moment in Jersey. I feel like, I mean, he was originally a Devil. He was drafted by the Devils. He left. He went to Seattle in the expansion draft. Hated it there. Came back. Signed with us. Had the good run. But I think it's time now for Nate Bastian to head somewhere else.
Then, if you look at the player right below him, from what I'm looking at, also has the same two positions, a year younger, as an RFA. Do you want to keep the glass man?
Yes, I do. Absolutely. See, again, I feel like, again, more, again, especially, like I said, during the playoffs, when he got traded, he feels like he fit right into that, like, that Devil system. I love his tenacity. I love it, again. Perfect. Again, but I'm hearing that they're not going to offer him a qualifier offer, so he's going to probably end up being an unrestricted free agent. So we're going to
Which
have
is
to,
ridiculous. I mean, he's a
he
solid
was solid.
player. That's somebody I would want the Rangers to pick up as like a third line guy to just kind of fill in.
Oh, he'd be perfect for a Rangers team. He would fit so well. He'd be, and again, become probably
Former
one of your
Penguin.
favorite Rangers.
Former
Penguin.
Go play with your old coach.
Yeah. Coach Sullivan will probably love to have him on his team right now.
And looking at defense, Brian Dumoulin is a UFA, and
Again,
you know you got to get Luke signed.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that goes without saying. I mean, everyone's heard the rumors this whole off season. Since the end of the year is, when's this deal going to happen? What's the deal going to look like? I'm skeptical still. I mean, if you look at Vancouver and what's going on there, I mean, I don't blame Quinn for wanting to get out of there because it seems like it's very toxic and it's getting very crazy up there. So I feel like it's gonna happen, but like I've seen so many Devils fans just are that's if that's the only thing that happens this year, like they would be happy with that, which I'd be cool with that. I'd be okay with that. But if that doesn't happen, I'm not gonna feel like the off season is gonna be a total bust. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely not,
you know,
because you just got into the playoffs this past season. I don't think you need to change much.
no,
But it's just one of those pieces that you could add. But
no, absolutely.
I think the team needs to continue from what they have for the most part. Right. Just got to stay healthy throughout the whole season again, or try to.
That's the biggest concern right now for me is health. It's get these guys. Let's get these guys in an off-season program. Let's get them, working out, building strength up, building a muscle up.
Condition for the off-season.
Absolutely. Like I said, I feel like that's the biggest concern right now. And again, of course, you can always add. You got. I think it's at 14 million after. Oh, we didn't mention the Eric Holla trade.
Oh yes.
Eric Holla got traded to Nashville. Which I'm actually, like I said, at the end of the season, Holla was getting very annoying, not annoying in a bad way, but very more vocal, out stuff coming out of the locker room. Great player, good guy. Again, I feel like this was a perfect trade. It clears up some space for yourself. Probably the next move is probably going to be Palat. Palat's probably going to be on the market, coming up once the first hits and he can, decide, what teams he can go to and stuff, and he can, waive his no trade clause. That will clear up plenty of money. We'll get it up to about 25 million under the cap, and then you can go out and see, add your pieces here and there. I mean, I think they're going to make the deep dive for one of the top 15 guys this year. I mean, there's a possibility. I think Bessers would probably be the best choice, coming out. But again, with these players signing so fast, it's gonna be hard to sign one of these guys. It's clear enough space to sign some of these guys. So we're gonna see how it goes out. Like I said, the draft's coming up tomorrow. Like I said, we got free agency on Tuesday. It's gonna be a very interesting time in the NHL, which is why this is perfect timing for a nice big episode of What the Puck.
Yeah.
Get all your information out and let's get it on. Next week we'll start up and we'll see who signed and everything.
Wait.
And
then... I have more trades that I want to talk about. I don't think we're not ready to wrap up yet.
Go ahead. No, absolutely not. No, absolutely. I'm gone. Let's go.
This is really the last thing I wanted to touch on. with the Rangers, the one thing that people wanted this offseason was to try to get JJ Paterka. That didn't fucking happen at all.
Oh, yes.
Last night, the news broke that he's going to Utah with the Mammoth, because I think they came out with the name while we weren't recording.
Oh, yes, yes.
I think that was while we were on our break. They came out with the name. Thanks, guys.
But I think it may be the last podcast we might have mentioned that that was the favorite, but yeah, just now it's official, people.
It's
yes,
official.
We have a logo.
It's the Mammoth. The logo's cool.
The logo is awesome.
Logo's sick.
The logo is sick. I would totally rock that jersey all day. Their jerseys are sick. I love them.
This JJ Paterka trade is a big win for Utah. I like this trade a lot. Michael Kesselring going to Buffalo is really cool too. He had a very fantastic young defenseman. Really is going to be a great option on their blue line in Buffalo. But they got rid of Shane Doan's fucking kid.
That's what I said. That was the first thing I saw when I read it. I was like, "Is that the same one?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, apparently
that's his baby boy."
Well, again, when you want to get a good skill player like Paterka in, I mean, you're gonna have to give up something, and I mean, he's
skill over family. We're not in Arizona anymore.
Exactly. We're not playing the Devils where we just trade for our, we trade for our, assistant supervisors. Hockey operations son or something like that.
Yeah, to maybe be the goalie sometime.
Hi, Jeremy Brodeur. By the way, let's just say that
he looked good in the preseason when he played against the Rangers. And then Paterka signs 5 years, $7 million per year with Utah. Decent contract. I want to say Paterka's 23, 24. So this contract gets him to close to 30. That's really good. Utah, they love their hockey out there.
Yes, they do.
So this is a big thing to be excited about. You have a team that's willing to spend money, unlike they were in Arizona.
Right.
Paterka's going to slot right in. And did you see at all Kevin Adams, Buffalo Sabres general manager, had a little bit of a press conference the other day, and he said some shit that should have gotten him fired. He said he feels bad for Sabres fans. Does that not scream I'm bad at my job?
Absolutely.
Is that not does that not say I fucking suck at what I do? And I'm putting it on you guys. Like, yeah, I feel bad for him, and I'm a Rangers fan. Like, anybody should feel bad for Sabres fans, not the Sabres.
No, absolutely.
The owners of every NHL team need to force the Sabres and Terry Pegula to sell Dan Snyder style.
Which is the killing part, which is because the Bills are so damn good.
That's the funny thing to me.
The Bills are so good, and they're good, and it's not, and it's of course it's Josh Allen, but the people they add to their team really do like
Josh Allen and Jack Eichel should have been on the same pedestal of these are Buffalo sports legends that got us back to where we wanted to be. And exactly. Jack Eichel did that in Vegas.
Which is funny. Which is so funny you said that because we were sitting here watching the NBA draft last night, and Utah had picked, and who was it? Ace Bailey. And I said it would be funny to see Ace Bailey and Clayton Keller, back to back in like a post. You remember the old school like '90s posters where like these two like superstar would pose back to back in the same team? And then the Paterka trade came, and I was like, oh, that'd probably be even a better choice. So, like, we go back to the Buffalo thing. You could have Josh Allen and Jack Eichel on a poster, and they would have been Buffalo's heroes.
Yeah, those two players should have statues in Buffalo for the remainder of Earth. Like,
absolutely,
you gotta force a selling of this team, I think.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
Because Pagula, you've seen how this works. You did it with, like we were talking about with the Bills. You did it in the NFL.
Yes.
You kicked Dan Snyder out of Washington, and now look at them. They're good.
Although we can go to that same thing with both of our owners, the Commanders and the Devils and the Sixers. The Sixers are run horribly.
Oh,
The
for
Commanders
sure.
are run. The Commanders after they took over have run great. So it's so weird how you got two different one owner in two different sports, and
Hell,
then
you can even look
sometimes
at
they can be.
you can look further into basketball.
Hmm.
Force Dolan to sell the Knicks after.
Same way, I literally was about to say that the Dolan thing. Well, the
Like-
Dolan thing is just
Like, we're
it's
not
just
even a
its own
basketball podcast. I don't even really like basketball that much.
No.
You fire Thibodeau?
Yeah.
And now every team is telling you to go fuck yourself because you made the dumb move?
Exactly.
This guy just got your team to the Eastern Conference Final for the first time in 25 years. And now you fire him because what? Our visions don't align? Open your eyes. Maybe they will.
Dolan is the worst, I swear.
Sell the Knicks,
And
sell
not
the
even
Rangers.
It's just he's horrible. He's a horrible owner.
He really is. Always has been. Always has been. Ruined Cablevision too.
Oh,
Ruined Cablevision, ruined
can we
sports.
get into it?
Can we? I mean, we can.
5-second review because I follow again. I don't have like a cable package, so I have to buy the Gotham Sports. Gotham Sports app fucking sucks. It is the fucking worst app next to ESPN Plus. It is the worst app ever. It is terrible. If I didn't have to pay to watch my team, they would not get any of my money. Oh, the choppering. I'm getting. I didn't go through this during the season because we're just we're just kind of chilling right now. There was goals scored 3 minutes that I knew about that I saw on my phone that popped up on my things from ESPN and the score. And it was like there was like 6 minutes still left to go on the TV because it was that far behind, or it was choppy, or Gotham Sports is terrible. They just need to nationalize it, put it on ESPN Plus so everyone can have their teams wherever the hell they are. Pay the fucking price. That's it. If I want to pay to see the Devils, I just want to pay the $14.99 for ESPN Plus, and I get my Devils. That's it. I'm sorry. Rant over.
Rant over, and gang,
Rant over.
I think that's a great spot to end it off on.
Yes, sir.
Draft day is tomorrow. Free agency's coming up. You'll see us for free agency. We're getting ready. Preseason feels like it's just right around the corner, and the cup was just given out.
And Devils Rangers first game, both teams. Yes,
Gotta love it.
At the Convention Center.
But
yes, sir.
Gang, you gotta love that we're back.
Yes, sir.
The offseason's just getting ready. We're just getting ready. But I've been Nick down there. That's been Gunk up there. Gang, we love you. Gunk, I love you.
Love you too, bud. Stay cool.
Yes,
stay cool
everybody, stay cool. It's disgusting.
It's freaking burning in Jersey. So stay cool. Enjoy the draft. Watch it. Maybe you'll cool down from a little bit of ice feel. We're getting ready for our new season.
You could cool down like the Panthers fans did at their parade.
Anyway, What the Puck fans, I want to personally just say congratulations to Nick on his new venture with his buzz on podcast.
Let me self promo real quick.
Yeah, gang, promo it for us.
Everywhere that you can find them, stuff is coming out soon for it. We have a Spotify out right now. We're working on a YouTube. I have a podcast that I started working on called the Strange Beast Podcast with Jason M. Daly. I've been doing production and editing on it. My friend Jason has been doing all the talking content and everything for the podcast. He's been doing the social media. We've been uploading bi-weekly every other week on Spotify. We're working on getting the YouTube put up. I will put everything that you need to know to go show love and support over there in the episode description.
Yeah, and it's
Check out
not my genre, but again, very interesting podcast.
yes,
I learned stuff that I never knew, so it was cool. I liked it very much.
if you
And we
enjoy
also,
if you
oh
enjoy
no, I'm sorry, yeah,
Godzilla kaiju stuff, go
yeah,
check that out. We're both having a great time working on it. We're having a
good.
lot of fun doing it. It's been looking really good. It's been sounding really good.
This
People
is
have had
our
a
off
lot of
season
fun
right
stuff
here.
to say. Oh, cat.
Welcome. We have so our podcast will now be Nick Punk, and his is Duncan.
Oh, what's
So
up,
it's
Dunk? Oh, you're so
hey,
cute.
look at the screen. Look at the screen. Look,
What's up,
look,
guy?
look.
Oh,
He's a
hell
kitten.
yeah.
That's Maddie's birthday present. That's what we've been doing for the last month, trying to train his
Nice.
little butt. So
Dope.
yeah, we have Nick on the bottom, we have
Well,
Gunk on top, and
and Duncan
we'll always
everywhere.
have Gunk
Hell
somewhere
yeah,
in the corner during our podcast.
That's our that's our producer. What's up, Dunk? All
Oh
right.
yes, and follow him on TikTok because apparently Maddie made a TikTok for him.
Sure.
What's the name? Nation of NJ. Cat Nation of NJ. Cat
Okay.
Nation at Cat Nation of NJ. You'll be posted of all three of our silly cats. You know them all. Well, Nick knows them all, but you'll start to name them. But anyway, all of our new ventures are popping. We're gonna have a great new season. Let's hit it. Nikki, take us away, my friend.
Alrighty, everybody, gang, go check out our stuff. Like we said, like I mentioned before, I love everybody that's part of this.
Yes, sir.
With production, outside of production, and the fan base.
Yes.
Keep it easy, keep it breezy, keep it cool. Peace, everybody.
Peace. Okay.
Okay.